The biggest character highlight in this OVA, in my opinion, of course, is little Miu. Miu, in my opinion, in this OVA was absolutely adorably brilliant, she was. And she was really well and truly stole the OVA from all the other characters as the biggest main character of this particular OVA. I can't help but just how adorably cute that Miu is, and not to mention really toughen her up actually. We see her taking it seriously with the situation that she, her mother, Team Hajime, as well as the Liberators, as they're being called to this alternate reality place, and she really is incommandable of the situation, of course. Let alone, of course, the fact that she stood up against these monsters who were surrounding her before Mayor Milsin came along to save her in time. I like the bit where Miu lectures Hajime and the girls because they want to take their revenge on Minnie D. Ryson after what she did to them in the Labyrinth, of course, back in the 7th episode of Season 1. And it was so adorable, really, seeing little Miu actually lectures Hajime and the girls. And you can see how very much immature that Miu is, actually. I think she's really by far a fantastic character in this franchise. Very strong and adorable, of course, but incredible as well. Now, getting to the plot of this OVA. In my opinion, I find the plot of this OVA is actually quite, well, I don't know what I would say in description of this OVA's plot, of course, but apparently, in my opinion, of course, and what I personally like to see in this OVA the most, was to see both Team Hajime and the Liberators interact with each other, let alone fighting alongside each other against these, well, army of monsters in this alternate reality place. To me personally, I've rather seen this actually more than just seeing the plot of this OVA, for seeing the Liberators and Team Hajime interacting and fighting alongside each other. Because this is something I've been wanting to see for months actually, let alone the past year when I came across the prequel series manga adaptation, and I was very intrigued by the Liberators of these characters, their lives, their story, their goal, and I really want to see an anime adaptation of the prequel series being adapted on television anyway. But I was so happy to see these characters, even though we only got 4 out of the 7 main powerful members of the Liberators. But it was great to see these 4 characters interacting and fighting alongside Team Hajime. And this is something I really wanted to see. And the plot, to me personally, I was not really quite interested in the plot at all actually. I know of course it is based on a short story from a light novel book, but for me personally it was both the Liberators and Team Hajime's interaction and fighting alongside each other was more important to me personally than this plot of this story. And that was so fantastic for me, and it was kind of like having my early Christmas present to me, because I really want to see the Liberators in the anime adaptation so much. So yeah, the plot is alright, the good story actually, not to mention how cool it is with the action-packed moments. But personally the best part of this plot anyway was to see characters from both eras interacting and fighting alongside each other against these army of monsters in this alternate reality place that they've been called to. And it was so fantastic, and I would never forget this OVA actually, and this was by far the franchise's biggest excellent moment, the second best behind season 2 of course. So my final conclusion thoughts of the OVA of Arifureta from Commonplace to World Stronger season 2, well, I must say that this OVA really did exceed expectations, and I was so hyped for this OVA for so long since I've actually been looking through the trailers actually. It was the most hype OVA I ever watched actually. And as I just said a moment ago, it was the second best behind season 2's 12 episodes. And nevertheless, I really did enjoy this OVA so much. The characters were great in it. The plot, as I just said a moment ago, was alright, but not quite that interesting in my opinion. But nevertheless, I really did enjoy watching this OVA, and I couldn't help but just re-watching this over and over again. And the one thing that got me on my mind after watching this OVA was is this OVA actually canon to the actual TV show? The reason why I'm saying about that is because neither Hajime, the girls, Remia and Miu ever mentioned the Liberators nor this alternate reality place that they went to. And I want to know if this actual OVA is canon to the actual TV show, because they never brought it up in the 7th episode of season 2. So yeah, put your comments below and tell me if that is true, if this OVA is canon to the actual TV show. So yeah, just put your comments below and tell me actually. So a few final conclusion thoughts of the OVA of Arifureta from Commonplace to World's Strongest Season 2. I was so hyped for this OVA and I was extremely happy and enjoyed it, not to mention it exceeded expectations of course, and it was amazingly wow of course, with both the Liberators and Team Hajime interacting and cross paths with each other in this OVA from their own respective timeline eras. And I really enjoyed this OVA so much that I'm hoping that there may be something like this happen again in the near future for the franchise. So anyway, this is my thoughts of course of Arifureta Season 2's OVA. I hope you really enjoyed my discussion of this OVA, so put your thoughts in the comments below and put a like and subscribe to my channel for future content, and I will see you guys next time.